everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the patch notes that we are getting for tomorrow's update, and this is an insane update, guys. There is so much that we have to talk about that more than likely I'll probably end up missing something, and I'm sure you guys are going to let me know down in the comments down below. But let's check it out, guys, and let's see what all entails in this update. So we've already seen the little story trailer, which was wonderful. We now know that Maki is a red defense type and that Ashe is a green attack type fighter, and we also can take a look at their 3 PGs. You see Thermidor EX is Ashe's 3 PG, and then Infinite Illusion in the Mirror is Shazuru's 3 PG. You also can see the set cards. This artwork is amazing. This is straight out of the 2003 game, guys. Like, this is so good. I love Mukai. You see Rose and Adelheid, which is also really, really awesome. And then you have like the option cards, which is sweet. You see Kyo and Kusanagi there, and then you see Psyche, you see Magaki, you see Mukai, and then you see Xion there. Really beautiful artwork. And then we're getting our free character, which is Mukai, who is a purple defensive fighter. And then we got another free character in Magaki, who is a blue balanced type fighter. So we got one balanced type fighter, we got 2 defensive fighters, and we got 1 attack type fighter. Well, and then you can see the 3 PG that we can actually farm for free, which is actually awesome, on top of getting a free A5 UE character. And then we have the 3 PG Universe Distortion for Magaki. Love the artwork. It looks awesome. And then we have the Rush Dungeon set. And again, guys, the artwork is so good on these. You got the Sacred Treasure, you have Ashe, right? I mean, this is so good. Oh my God. And I'm not going to talk about all these things, guys, but I will talk a little bit about these 3 PGs, because this does indicate where these characters might stand as far as the update is concerned. So Thermidor EX, which is Ashe's 3 PG, increases active skill 1 and 2 skill damage by 60% for 10 seconds after using a skill. This is a huge indication, guys, that he is going to be a damage dealing monster. This is a big indication that's what he's going to be. And then we have Infinite Illusion in the Mirror, which is Maki's 3 PG, increase attack of all allies, including self, by 30% for 10 seconds after using the skill. And this indicates that she might be a great support, like Shazuru, like the video I made earlier where I was talking about, man, I just hope she's a really, really good support. I want her to be strong, but if she's a good support, her legacy will never die in the game. At least it won't die for a long, long time, because support characters are just godsends in this game. We have the Shikai EX, which increases own defense by 50% for 10 seconds after using a skill. This is Mukai's 3 PG, and it only works on himself. So that does kind of indicate that he's going to be a damage dealer, which is good. He's probably going to have some buffs based off of defenses, which this is actually going to help him tremendously. And then we have Universe Distortion, which is a 3 PG for Magaki. And this increases blast skill damage by 10% for 10 seconds after using the skill. And it looks like it's only going to work on himself. It doesn't say for himself or for all allies, so we really don't know yet, but it does kind of indicate that he's probably going to be a damage dealer, but we're not really sure about that. And I just want to kind of scroll down and get to the good stuff, where you can see that all the characters that we are getting in this update are UE characters, which means that you can equip 5 plugins on every single one of them. You can see the UE grade specs, Awaken tier 9. These characters can go up to tier 9. And then you can see the UE and PUE, or PUE, I'm sorry, Phantom Awakening skills. Skill dedicated to UE fighters is added. The effects of UE, PUE skills are different from each fighter, right? And you guys can read all this if you choose to do so. I'm not really going to go into that. But you can see that we're going to have this here that's going to show up on the new UE fighters. You're going to have a UE core board on top of the regular core board that we normally have in the game. And this is going to add things like attack, defense, penetration, right? Just like the regular core board. But it's also going to give you overpower and momentum. And then you guys can see these 4 extra stats down here, the UE, PUE skill effects. Now, I'm really curious to see whether or not we have to use a certain material to reset these every single time, or do we, equip them on there and we can reset it as much as we want, whether we want to use the Phantom skill or the UE skill. I'm not really sure how that's exactly going to work, but you guys can see here, like the type stat effect, UE core board unlock, add to a core that enhances overpower, momentum stats, UE skill, Awaken level 90. And this is actually letting you know what you're actually going to get whenever you get the character. So level 90, you're going to have overpower and momentum stats. At least that's the way I'm reading it. Awaken level 30, you added a core that enhances UE skills, right? And then whenever they're level 50 and beyond, level 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90, added a core that enhances PUE skills up to 5 times, right? And then striker skill effect. Now this is pretty interesting to me. Awaken level 30 added a core that enhances striker skills up to 4 times. So that's really, really interesting. We're gonna have to see how that plays out. And then we have what's called the new Cypher elements. And the characters are all going to have one of these elements equipped on them, which means you're going to use this element against a specific type of opponent. It's going to have the same element, so that way you can do the most damage and take less damage from them as much as possible. And so this is a nice little added thing that they put in here for the new game modes and also for the AG's challenge, right? So very, very interesting. We have the new story mode, which is amazing, guys. Lots of extra rubies. This is so good for everybody. And then we're getting rid of the RHD, or Reviving Hell's Dungeon, and they're actually going to be giving us just a little game mode where we use our AP and we can just come in here and farm for the same materials to level our characters up from Awaken 1, level 2, Awaken level 3, 4, and so on, right? And that's nice. That's actually a nice quality of life change, very easy for us to do. So I really like it. And on top of that, guys, because they're adding this game mode, there's going to be a whole bunch of rubies that you're going to be able to get out of here, which is wonderful. That is fantastic. And you'll also note that the existing Awakened tier to 170 experience capsules can still be used. So if you still have the level 1 to level 7 Awakening tier capsules, you can still use them, so you don't have to worry about deleting them or getting rid of them, which is awesome. I'm really happy that they did that. That is fantastic. And when we move on, guys, you'll see go down here, and then you can read what momentum, overpower, critical hit resistance, critical damage resistance, phantom attack, phantom penetration, phantom defense, what all of these things do, guys. I'm not going to really go into that, but it only is going to work in PvE. It will not work in PvP content such as championship, league match, which is actually really, really good. And then we have the plugin system, which we already talked about. We've already kind of went over the plugin system. So I really don't want to go into all that. The fact that we can craft these boxes and have a chance of getting the right plugin for the right character. We've already touched on that in a previous video. And you can see, guys, that in some game content, the effect of plugin items is not applied. And you see that time attack, it won't be applied in casual or master, championship, dream match, or friendly match. It will not be applied. So it does look like it works. I'm sorry. It does look like it works in league match and absolute war. I mentioned earlier that it doesn't work in league match, but it looks like it actually does. So, okay. And then here's a new game mode where we're actually going to farm in the plugins. We've already talked about, we've already touched on it, but what we also have, guys, is a new Tower of Illusion, which is pretty much like Tower of Trials. And the Illusion Tower will open up where powerful enemies affected by the Phantom Gate appear. So it's going to be really, really important to have these plugins applied to these characters, so that way they can do a lot better in this game mode. We're going to see how difficult this is actually going to be, but it goes up to 20 floors, and I don't know if this is going to be like the Tower of Trials where it's just a one and done reward. I really hope it isn't. I hope this is a game mode that we could play over and over and over. Hopefully it resets over time. We get certain rewards over a certain duration. That's what I would like to see for this game mode. And in order to unlock it, the Illusion Tower will be unlocked when you have 3 fighters with Awakening level 30 or higher. So you need to have 3 characters at A3 in order to unlock this game mode. There's also going to be a story in it, which is actually really good too. If you guys are interested in a story, we have the Alexandrite event returning, guys, which is actually pretty awesome. I know a lot of people are going to be very happy to see this thing returning. And we don't really need to go into all this. You can see the fighters that are going to be available in here. And you guys can see that obviously Ash, Psyche, Mukai, Kusanagi, right? And you see Kusanagi is actually a yellow balanced fighter. So they already let us know what Kusanagi actually is. And Psyche looks like a yellow attack type fighter. And then we scroll down a little bit more, guys. And then we have a, AG's Challenge Point Reward, where this is where we're going to get, this is where we're going to farm an AG's Challenge, get all of our points, and try to get the maximum rewards possible. You can see we have these KO coins, which is actually really good. We're farming for the PG for Mukai. You can see they also put rubies in here. We'll see how difficult this is actually going to be. But after completing the AG's Challenge, Alexandrite, you can obtain various rewards, blah, blah, blah. And as main rewards, you can acquire 200 KO coins, which is these things right here. UE Fighter Prime Memory Shard. Buy 10 selection boxes. So if you're able to finish this thing, you're going to get UE Fighter Prime Memory Shards and Rubies, right? We'll see how that plays out, how difficult that's actually going to be. And then you guys can see that we have new UE stones. Now, the good thing about this is we're going to be getting an insane amount of these coins, guys. We're going to get a whole bunch of these 200K of coins. And that's what you're going to use to farm for these stones. You don't even have to have these characters leveled up. And if it works just like the way the regular BS stones work, the EX stones have worked, these UE stones are going to work on future UE characters. So this might be a golden opportunity to farm for all three of these stones. And for future UE characters, these stones might be the best on future UE characters. You just never know. It's definitely worked out that way in the past, at least in certain situations on certain characters. And then you also can see that this is where we're actually going to be farming for coins for Magaki, which is awesome, guys. Like, so sweet. And I think this is the Prime Memory Shard over here, if I'm not mistaken. We have the new imprint stones. I'm not really going to go into the details about the imprint stones, guys. And you see, you know, the Moon and Star Shape Stone are going to be critical damage, critical ray, which is pretty much, you know, standard, at least at this point in the game. And then you can see that there is some changes to the UI, at least as far as how it looks. I actually like the way it looks better now. This is actually a nice little change. It looks a little bit more fulfilled, I guess, if you will. And then we scroll down a little bit more, and something else they changed is the maximum amount of AP that can be held with will be greatly increased. So now the AP is going from 9,999 to 99,999. Now, I know for a lot of you guys that probably isn't a big deal, but for a veteran, that is awesome. I'm so happy that we can farm way above that limit. That is so good. The UE of some content will be, or I'm sorry, UI of some content will be improved, right? The position of tag. I mean, you can see some of the UI changes, guys, that they have done. They put some of the tabs on top, which actually looks a little bit cleaner, at least in my humble opinion. And then you can see all these events, which we're going to take a look at. And then you can see these packs that we're going to have. I'm not going to get into all the packs, guys. We're not going to really talk about all these packs, right? And you can see all these issues that they're going to change. Now, if we scroll over here, we can look at some of the events. Now, we got a login where we're actually going to get a 2003 EX Fighter Selector, guys. This is through a login. Everybody is going to be able to get this EX Fighter Selector. Thank you, Netmarble. That is amazing. That is so amazing. And then we have another login bonus where I mentioned earlier, guys, we're going to get a whole bunch of those KO coins. And look at this. Like, you're going to get a ridiculous amount of these coins on top of the Magaki coins, which I'm pretty sure we're going to use for Magaki himself or for his 3PG. I'm probably brushed over, probably missed it earlier, but this is amazing, guys. This is really, really good. Nothing but free goodies, which is awesome. And then we scroll down a little bit more. You can see you got the Rush Dungeon right here. Nice touch. And then you can see the car set in the Rush Dungeon. You can also see some other little goodies in here, these shards and so on in the Rush Dungeon that we can actually farm for. You can see we have a tower. You can see more of those coins are going to actually be in there, which is fantastic, right? And then we scroll down more. You see the Alexandria event, which we already touched on. You can see the Carnival, which we already touched on. And then we have a nice little mileage reward where we're going to be getting a bunch of nice little rewards through here, through a co-op event. Now, I'm really praying that the co-op is fun and awesome. And I hope it connects really well, because we had a co-op way back in the day. It was like an Orochi event. It was really good. It's just that it kept disconnecting. People had a lot of lag issues. So I'm really hoping that this is a lot of fun. I just pray to God, because co-op would be such a nice addition to King of Fighter All-Stars. You know, the idea to be able to play with your friends would be so good. And then we scroll down a little bit more. You guys see another little event where you acquire some more rewards. Then we already talked about this earlier, right? And we scroll down a little bit more. We got a bingo again, guys. Look at all these coins that we're going to be able to get, right? In this bingo, this is all free to play, at least most of it. Like, it's pretty nutty, right? You're going to be able to get more of these coins by doing your dailies and so on, right? I mean, so good, right? And you can obtain your bingo tickets from the locations listed below. Your event summon fighter one time, right? So every day if you summon a fighter one time, and then in KS mystery box, all right? And that is an RNG thing. And then we scroll down a little bit more, and you guys can see this is where we're actually going to be getting these Moon and Star Shaped Stones for the UE characters. You can see there's another relay bingo, some extra rubies. Really, really nice, guys. And then we get into these KOF passes. Now, I know for you guys that are free to play, this isn't a big deal at all because obviously you're not going to purchase it. But for someone that spends money, I got to say, especially this one, is pretty damn awesome. This first one is a regular KOF battle pass. And it has a bunch of rubies and, UE summons in it. So this might be worth buying more than likely. And then we have this one here, which actually has a UE selector in it, guys. It has a UE selector, which is fantastic. This is something that I've complained about over and over and over, that we should have an EX selector. And now that we got new UE characters, I'm so happy to see a UE selector in the game. Now, Marvel, if you do this more often, I guarantee people would want to buy these things a lot more often. So really, really amazing. You guys can take a look at the rubies as far as the KO Battle Pass. I guess around $5 pack would have about 1,200 rubies. The $50 pack is going to have a little bit more. Maybe it'll be a little bit less money. I'm not really sure exactly how much it's going to cost. And then for the KOF 2003 Welcome Battle Pass that has that UE selector in it, if you buy the one pack, you're going to get, 4,000 rubies. You're going to get that UE selector. You're going to get these UE Fighter Summon card and summon tickets, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of goodness in those KOF passes. So that's actually pretty damn fantastic. And in all honesty, guys, like this update is looking pretty amazing, right? I mean, we do need to be a little bit reserved on how these UE fighters are going to play out. We do need to be a little bit reserved on any new game modes because we don't know how those are going to play out either. But I gotta say, man, this update looks absolutely insane, guys. There's so much free stuff coming our way. The fact that we're gonna have a Ruby refund, all those coins, the free EX selector, the free Magaki, the free Mukai, like there's just so much good things going on in this update, guys. So let me know how you're all feeling about the patch notes. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.